Have you ever wondered what was out there in the night sky? Stared up at the stars in the hopes of seeing something out of the ordinary? Have you ever heard unexplainable noises coming from a vacant room, or watched a shadow cross the wall in front of you? Have you asked yourself if there's life after this one, or if you had life before? What about strange creatures that are mythical and elusive? Have you experienced deja vu, or felt a prompting to leave because you felt you were in danger? What if tomorrow you were on the fringe? Welcome to another episode of On the Fringe. I'm Philip.
And I'm Mark.
And man, tonight I think we just have a fun show. We're kind of hanging out, talking, and I kind of ran across this yesterday. I think I talked to you about it a little bit. Tonight's show, and we kind of decided to do a dive on it and check it out, see what it's about. And I'll get more into it here in a little bit. But tonight we're talking about the Baltic Sea Anomaly. I'm sure we're going to touch on some other anomalies that have been found deep in the water. Are they USOs, I should say? Are they ancient buildings? Are they monoliths, megaliths, whatever you want to call it? We're going to explore that tonight and check it out. But before we do that, do us a favor. Go check out our website, whatiftomorrowmedia.com. It's got all our affiliates on there. We've got Conflicted the Game. We've got EMP Shield. We have My Patriot Supply. And we have Duke Cannon. All great products, so do us a favor, help us out there. And also don't forget, we just signed on recently to Buy Me a Coffee. If you guys want to just help the show out, buy us a coffee. I think it's like $5 or something like that. Every little bit of help to kind of help push us forward and help, improve our show. So if you like doing, if you like watching this, if you like listening to us, I know I've been lacking on getting things uploaded, but I've got a whole bunch to upload. Started here a little bit ago. Do us a favor, support the show with Buy Me a Coffee or buymeacoffee.com/whatiftomorrow. So without further ado, we're going to kind of jump into it and have a good time. Hopefully a good conversation. Hope you all enjoy it. I kind of want to get going on this. The article really it's a fun, kind of starts out kind of fun, exciting. So I figured I might just read that one opener to this article. And it's out of the Mirror. It's out of the Mirror from the UK. And it starts out a UFO, and all I hear is like the whole TV spot, for movies or trailer narrator. Here's like a UFO, a forgotten Nazi bunker, an underwater Stonehenge. All these theories have been used to describe the mystery formation that is the Baltic Sea Anomaly. So we're going to get into that real quick. But see, the Ocean Explorer team discovered a formation in June 2011 during an exploration in the Baltic Sea, which, if you're not familiar where the Baltic Sea is, it sits between Finland and Sweden, several other little European countries.
Basically, the Baltic Sea is a giant, really deep lake that was carved by glaciers, and that happens to be connected to the ocean. And so it's kind of a mix of salt water and fresh water, which actually works really well to preserve things like shipwrecks, which is why these guys were out there. They've been making money off salvaging these old shipwrecks. And that's what they were doing when they discovered this. They were running their side scan. They were traveling from one wreck to another, and they had their side scan going to see if they could find something else while they were traveling.
Yeah, and they just happened to come across it.
And it's weird.
It is weird. A lot of people have likened it to looking like the Millennium Falcon. I'll pull it up, a picture of it real quick. Let's see if I can find. I got several pages pulled up here. Yeah. And this is a generated image. But essentially, if you do a web search for it, this is pretty much what you're going to find.
Yeah.
Something like that. Um, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, that one
this
looks
is
like
off. What's that, Mark?
yeah, that one looks like it's got stairs on it. I've seen a lot of
Yeah,
artist renditions that look like that.
yeah. And the thing is they don't really exactly know what it looks like because there's only been a few divers down that deep. But what's weird about it is, yeah, there's another rendition of it. So I can see the similarities in the with the Millennium Falcon and all that. So
Yeah, it
oh
really
man, I
does
closed
kinda
that.
look
I
like
didn't
it.
mean to close that out. Um, but I think it's cool though because from what they say, when they're trying to actually get a good sonar hit on it, all the if they're right over it, nothing works. The anything electric like their
I know
monitoring
their
equipment,
their compasses.
phones, their compasses, none of that works. So is it a high iron content causing everything to kind of go crazy, some kind of anomaly? Um, so what is it? I mean, that's the biggest question is nobody knows for sure what it is. There's several theories out there. Obviously one being UFO, and that's kind of the one I hope for. Hopefully it's a crashed UFO.
I'd
Um,
love it if that was the case.
oh, that'd be sweet. I mean, would we ever find out for sure? No, I don't think so. I
No,
think they would
no,
hide
the
it.
military will tamp down on it, and that'll be your first clue that it is something.
Right. Um, they also claim that it could be. Let me find these here.
I like the Nazi bunker.
Yeah, the Nazi bunker was one. Um, yeah, Nazi bunker, uh, UFOs. Another. Yeah, here's another image apparently of it. Let me pull that down real quick. Um, yeah, here's another image of it, and you can see here it kind of looks, you know, futuristic. It's kind of cool. But Mark and I actually we just got finished watching a video on it from Ocean X on their YouTube site. You can go look it up. Go look up the YouTube's Ocean X. They've got several cool looking videos on there. I've never checked them out up until now, but they've got like giant squid videos. They've got a whole bunch of anything oceanic, and we found this. This is Gaia here, but
I've got that one pulled up too.
no, do you? Great minds think alike. um, but yeah, some hypothesize that because there is a what is a 1,000 foot. Some people call it a runway.
It
Where
looks like a drag. People said it
yeah,
looks like it's skidded.
yeah. So could it be a crashed UFO that's been there for a long time that's been covered by sediment? Could it be anything like that?
Or it could have been, like they say, it could have been something that was just drug along by a glacier.
Right. I just find it odd, that if this is an actual image, that
Right,
this is natural. It doesn't. There's too many. To me, there appears to be too many straight lines. I mean, we kind of talked about it before, but
right.
I don't know. I mean, I can't say I've really paid attention enough, but I can't say that I've never really ever seen anything with straight lines like that.
No. But, I mean, straight lines, contrary to popular opinion, straight lines do occasionally, and even 90-degree angles do occasionally happen in nature. They're rare.
Right.
Um, Now, something I found interesting from several videos I've watched is where they've said it appeared to be more akin to concrete than stone. I'm going to throw this out here, for all you Nazi um, conspiracy theorists. Back in World War II, the Allies and the Nazis were all trying to come up with cheap ways to build things that float.
Right.
They were looking at making a aircraft carrier made out of ice,
Mhm.
uh, and basically newspapers. Just basically a giant frozen block for a temporary carrier. Um, they were looking at making ships out of concrete, and they did make um, barges and stuff out of concrete that floated. So I would not say that the Nazis were capable of building a bunker like that. What if they were working on some sort of floating base that didn't work out and sunk right there?
Yeah.
So, I mean, for those of us who are interested in history, I mean, historically, our ancestors have tried some really wild stuff, some of which worked and some of which failed miserably. Is that what we're looking at? Could be.
I I would say it's a possibility. I mean, and the Nazis were extremely active in that area.
Oh yeah, the Baltic.
Norway,
Yeah,
Sweden, all that. They were extremely active.
they controlled the Baltic.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. I mean, right now it's really anybody's guess because it's been around since what 2000? What I say 2012,
2011.
2011. Um,
The trouble is you can't get to it, and if you can, the visibility is so poor you can't see anything.
right.
What was it
Um,
like? 900 feet down,
yeah, something like that.
300 feet, which doesn't seem like a lot, but in the water, in the cold, cold water of the Baltic,
Yep.
that's a lot.
Yeah, on the video we just watched, the diver even said that's some of the coldest water he's ever been in, and he was down there for like 2 hours.
And he's from like Sweden or Norway or someplace.
Yeah.
Like he's been in cold water.
Right. Right. They're probably out there in their Speedos in freaking January.
Oh yeah,
Um, what was I looking up
I
here?
don't need to see that image.
You're welcome. Trying to see real quick. Well, I'm trying to look up because I know there was a lot of stuff happening in there in that area in World War II, like we said, and I'm just trying to place it, but I guess Dunkirk was in France, wasn't it?
Yeah, Dunkirk was in France.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that blows that idea out of the water. Um, but they had the dam busters and stuff flying into Norway trying to knock that stuff out, wasn't it? Or was that Dunkirk? I don't remember.
I'm not sure where the dam busters were trying to knock the hydroelectric dams out, but uh, and that's bad on me. And I've watched movies about it.
Yeah, I have too. Um, well, they were going into Germany doing that. I want to say I thought they were trying to take out some stuff up in like Norway.
There
There was like,
was, I think, nuclear research facilities in Norway,
yeah,
which I mean, like I said, our ancestors tried to make some really crazy things float, and concrete was chief among their ideas.
yeah,
Because concrete's cheap. I mean,
yeah. I don't know. I think another thought crossed my mind. What if it is man made? What if it is? What if it's not UFO, or what if it's not a natural structure, but what if it is man made, but it was before, you hear Mark and I talk about it a lot, this whole, cataclysmic event that happened 13,000 years ago, set off the ice age, and the glaciers did push it down,
yeah,
the 1,000 foot or whatever. But what if it was man made to that previous civilization? Um, I'm not going to say I'm convinced that that happened, that civilization was there, but there's a lot of food for thought there,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
because if you look at the stories and stuff, it seems almost impossible that this stuff should even exist. Like the stuff that Frank's movie.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't remember the name of it. Was showing the ancient archaeology, especially in like in South America and all that. What if it truly is man-made? What if we truly did have a civilization, but this cataclysmic event that we know happens,
We know what happened, yeah.
what if it happened? I mean, the reason there's not as much evidence in the United States is probably because that's where the like ground zero was. But how many
Right,
glaciers do we have pushing down just from our from the north part of North America?
right. Well, see,
You know,
13,000 years ago, the glaciers came down far, down like
right,
where we're at,
right,
uh, and then all of a sudden they melted in a very short span of years.
right. And
So,
something else that kind of strikes me is you hear this or the flood story, the Noah flood story. Let's see. Hey, Chris. Said maybe if they could get a different view instead of a topical, it would help. It does kind of look like some of those lines could be steps. Yeah, it does. Absolutely, it
it
does.
it does, really.
Um,
Oh, I got a
sorry.
picture here, um, of of an actual concrete ship later.
Okay. Um,
They did a lot of them.
sorry, guys. I'm trying to fight back a sneeze. So, uh,
Just let it go.
yeah. Well, it's gone now. I'm like, God dang it, man. But I don't know. I think there's so much more to the story of this previous civilization. With the story of like I was talking about with Noah and the flood in
Right.
early history,
The Epic of
but that's
Gilgamesh.
right. Um, but that story is not just localized to the Hebrew religion. It
Every
was
civilization on
Babylonian.
the
It was
planet has
yes.
yeah.
So I
I
don't
mean,
doubt
even
that
the
that
Indians talked
happened.
about it.
Right. So that's a
Right.
worldwide story. But was that part
So the
of that cataclysmic event? I tend to think, the way my mind works, I tend to think that it's a huge possibility. Maybe towards the tail end of it, maybe all the glaciers are melting off, things like that. Well,
it was a civilization ender. I mean,
yeah,
they know that these cities existed. They've seen them. There's
yeah.
evidence of them. I found and I don't have it up. There's a site on here that has pictures of all sorts of megalithic structures that they found under the ocean. So we know that cities and towns and probably entire countries got swallowed by the sea
Mhm.
when these glaciers melted. So, yeah, what if you're right? What if this was a town or a structure or a temple that just got covered up when the water came up?
Right. I mean,
I can see it
so I can find it. Yeah, I mean, it's not huge by uh,
by
today's
modern standards.
modern standards. It's not huge, but it's 180 foot in diameter.
Yeah,
And
60
and
60 foot
I
across, was it?
180 foot. Let's see. I'm trying to find the exact dimensions of it. Me, I got several articles pulled up on it.
Me
Uh,
too.
See, it measured 70 meters long, so like 280 feet long. I'm roughly guessing, not quite 280. Um, yeah, then it says there's 1,600 feet of turned up track on the seafloor leading to the object. Maybe I'll do another a look. because I'm not finding it. It should. I figured it'd be right there.
I mean, it's good sized.
Yeah, let me pull it up.
That track I find interesting. Now there is a lot of sediment in the Baltic, so you would think that it would have covered it up. So that would kind of lead you to believe that it might be fairly recent. I mean,
Yeah, and it could be. I mean, that's kind of why I wonder if it is something, but it's been there for so long, it's covered by so much sediment.
you can't tell what it is.
Right. Um.
Or is it a structure that was carved out of rock that was pushed out by a glacier?
Yeah,
So
and very well could be.
it could be the glacier moved a man-made object. That's entirely possible.
Hmm. Absolutely is. All I'm seeing is like nearly like 200 foot in diameter, circular object.
Yeah,
It's really all I'm seeing. I'm not seeing like actual height, width, over all that stuff. Um, but still, 200 foot in diameter isn't huge by today's standards. But if this thing is an ancient structure,
that is
it was huge.
it was, yeah, gigantic. Uh, and that would lead me to believe it was something important, a temple or a temple mound or something that was maybe carved off, and maybe there were structures on top of it. Maybe that's just the base,
Right. And
and
that would make sense with, go ahead, sorry.
that would make sense with the holes and things that look like corridors. So the actual structure is gone, but the base is still there. So I can
But
think of all kinds of crazy stuff it could be.
yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, but that's what I love these weird historical things is because it's weird and really is thought provoking. Um, anybody's guess could be right, and everybody's guess could be wrong. Who knows? It could be just something on the seafloor. I mean, but that's
I
no
could
fun,
yeah, I could sit here and make a just some kind of crazy story I think is a lie and actually have it turn out to be true because nobody knows.
right? Right, and it's kind of one of those things. Oh man, I like his theory. I want to jump on board with it. Like I
Yeah,
said, starting out, I hope it's a UFO. That would be so
yeah.
freaking cool to have everybody that thinks these things are real proven right,
Or maybe it's a giant
unequivocally.
maybe it's a giant magical platform where we can travel to other dimensions.
Who knows? Maybe
I
it's a
love it.
gate generator or a portal generator or something. Who knows? I mean,
Crashed Stargate.
that's right. I mean, we're
But
getting into some serious sci-fi going on
yeah,
right now, but that's all right.
there
That's
you
what the
go.
show's about.
Let's do
Um,
it.
it's just it's the whole what if scenario again. What if it's this? What if it's that? I mean, people speculate this stuff all the time about everything.
The human imagination is limitless.
Right.
And that's why I love stuff like that because your mind can just build entire worlds just based on some object at the bottom of the ocean that nobody can even look at.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, and to me, I mean, it's not obviously near as deep, but in turn, that imagination, there's no difference in that compared to what's in the Marianas Trench.
Right. We don't know.
Who knows? I
Yeah.
mean, we haven't hardly even explored it. We've been down there a few times, but you haven't really went anywhere. You just kind of looked around, and you can only see out as far as your light will shine.
Chris says it's a gold ship. Those are supposed to be
Or what if it's
pyramids,
the
honey. Those are the evil aliens from Stargate, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and if you look at it, let's see. Let me share this again. It just hit me. But if you look at it, it kind of looks like the UFOs from Independence Day.
Oh, no, you're right. It does.
It
It does look like
does,
that.
doesn't it?
Or maybe a Cylon Raider from Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I see the resemblance to the Millennium Falcon, but whatever.
Yeah, I
But that's
mean,
the whole imagination thing.
oh, my imagination is too wild. I don't even wanna get into it. I could
Yeah, I
write a
mean,
whole sci-fi novel based on just this object.
yeah, I mean, it could go anywhere. We got a Facebook user. Oh, Stephanie said the what ifs can be totally real, just like people seeing things others can't. Makes you go, hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
It does. It really does. And that's the beauty of the whole, uh, paranormal thing and speculating about things and, cryptids and whatnot, is the possibility remains until they actually go down and study it and get some concrete, pardon the pun, evidence. We don't know, so it could be anything, and that's what I love about what we do.
Yeah.
It could be anything. It could
Yep.
be nothing,
And that's quite possible too. But
but
that's not as fun. It's not as fun to think
no,
about. And I think that's why people don't accept those explanations. It's because it's
well,
not as fun or interesting.
it will always be interesting because it's just strange.
Yeah.
It really is. So, but hey, I got a
Yeah.
picture for you.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna share this, and I'm almost smart enough to run this now. You should be proud of me.
Hey, you're getting there. It took
I'm
me
getting there.
forever to
This
add
is an
sound.
actual concrete ship. There was a huge industry in them, uh, for a very short period of time. Uh, so the possibilities of that being some sort of floating dock that the Nazis had is super possible. And look how badly decayed this one is, and it's above water. So
Yeah. That's
a lot of
amazing.
them
I
were
mean,
sunk to make breakwaters.
yeah. I mean, it's amazing though the amount of engineering. Stephanie said it scares people. And yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people are. They don't want to
Yeah,
accept it that
right.
there's things out there aren't that aren't the norm, the standard. It gets people out of their comfort zone. But I
Yeah,
find that's where the most interesting things are.
yeah, people don't want to think that humans are the end all be all.
Right.
So, I mean, I get it. But
Um,
humans tend to be fascinated by anything that's underwater.
uh it's the whole unknown. And you hear a lot of people say, "Well, we know what's in space." I mean, and I guess you could be that could be argued, but we know what's in space, but
To a certain
we don't
extent.
know what's on the ocean floor.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay.
It's easier to send a man to the moon than it is to send him to the bottom of the Marianas Trench almost.
Right. Right. I mean, how many people? It's been like 3 or 4, something like that.
Yeah, there's not very many. It's a
Not
very small
not
group.
many. Yeah. I mean, definitely more people have been to the top of Everest.
Oh yeah, there's more
Let's
people
see.
dead on the top of Everest.
Yeah.
Just remember,
People.
every body on Everest was once a highly motivated and uh, individual. So, and and probably well trained.
In good shape.
Better shape than me. Well, pear shaped is a shape, Phil.
Well, true, true. This says 13 people have been to the Mariana Trench to the bottom.
That ain't many.
No,
No. Well, I mean, that doesn't count the people who sank there, though.
right?
They didn't get
How many is that? I
they didn't
wonder.
get to see it. They didn't get to come back.
Yep. But also, again, I mean, something else. I'm sitting there thinking about this picture. Um, do you remember the old movie The Abyss?
Yes.
I mean, could it? I mean, it's Hollywood, but is a Hollywood, real life thing?
Is life imitating art or art imitating life or what?
Right. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell. It really is, and we can speculate all night on what it could be or what it is or whatever. And like you said, it could be just natural. But I find it odd,
Yes, it is extremely odd.
because if you look at the picture and what's around it, I mean, it's just rocks. I mean, why would there be one huge rock,
It's almost
even
perfectly
if
round.
right, even if it did slide 1,000 feet or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you really don't most of your straight lines that happen in nature uh, are from water beating against somebody. It's at the bottom of a sea. There's no water beating against it. There's
Right.
nothing to shape it. Now, could it have been ice? Yes. Could it have fallen from the sky and those straight lines could be from where it dragged on the ocean floor? That's actually plausible.
Yeah.
Could it be an alien spaceship? Gosh, I hope so.
That'd be sweet. God, man, that'd be so awesome. Have it hanging in like, well, you couldn't give it to the Smithsonian; they'd make it disappear.
Well, yeah,
Um,
well, it's like with it'd be in the same place with all the giant skeletons.
yep, and that's real, folks. That's real. The giant skeletons are real. There's too much evidence in my mind, and from what I've seen, to say they're not.
Yeah, and they've got records of them arriving. They just don't know what they did with them.
Right. So are they in the
Their warehouse
warehouse?
13.
Yeah, or the warehouse where the ark is and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
So the Ark of the Covenant and the whole Indiana Jones thing. Did you see, kind of off topic, but did you see where they're coming out with the new Indiana Jones movie?
Yes, I did. Did you see
And
the
they're
meme that's been going around?
uh
Indiana Jones and the afternoon nap.
well, they're deep faking him.
Well,
They're
I mean,
deep faking him
technology
to make him
exists.
look like, yeah, the old, and that's what I sent you a message in the private chat,
Yeah, I saw
um
that.
talking about Monday, but it kind of fits in.
Yeah,
This whole deep fake thing, you got to kind of watch out for it, because you're not going to, I mean, I already don't know what to believe or what not to believe
they're
anymore.
getting so good with it, and even the AIs are having trouble finding the AI generated deep fakes.
Yeah,
So
it's
you can't.
amazing.
Yeah, you're
I
not going to
mean,
be able to trust any video here before too long.
no, I mean, are they going to be able to bring back John Wayne?
Well, they did
I
for a
don't see why
commercial.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. I love John Wayne.
bring back John Wayne, or all these artists and stuff that have been gone for years or decades.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of off topic, but that's kind of what it reminded me of.
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
I
that's
just
okay.
find it cool. Did you watch The Mandalorian here a while back when they had Luke Skywalker returned?
I did not, although I did see a clip, I guess. Yeah, and it looked like a young,
Yeah,
yeah, it looked like a young Mark Hamill.
yeah, and it was crazy. I'm like, it's amazing technology, but you get into an election or the election season or whatever, they can make up any kind of incriminating evidence or videos to
Here's a
sink somebody's
video.
campaign.
Here's a video of John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt making
Right.
out with space aliens.
Right.
You know, they could do anything.
Yeah, they absolutely can. I mean, it just it's frustrating, but we'll circle back around and get back on topic because that's something else I could complain about all night.
Oh, well, let's talk about other underwater anomalies.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, everybody's heard of the Bimini Road.
Uh huh. I
Now,
don't.
this is one that is very shallow. Anybody can go see. You can take sightseeing tours to see. Now, they have determined that that was probably water action because they aren't individual blocks. It's one rock with a bunch of grooves in it. So that's
Let's see.
disappointing because it sure as hell looks like a road.
That was just off of Bermuda, right?
Just off of Bermuda, yeah.
Let's see what I can find here.
Bimini, off the island of Bimini in the Bahamas. I probably got a good picture here.
Trying to see if it's on Google Maps.
I think it probably is. I think it's cool.
Let me. We'll see what you think. Maybe I found it. I don't know. Let me zoom in here.
That could
But
be it. I don't know.
that's pretty
That's pretty
long. I
big.
mean, yeah, I don't know that is.
I think that may be just the satellite tracks where they've
Yeah,
gone away.
probably.
I don't know. And it could be there could definitely be roads there. I mean, that's out on the continental shelf.
Yeah,
And remember, folks, that the original coastline was pretty far out there before the glaciers melted.
yeah, yeah. There's a continental
Oh
shape
no, I
or
guess
shelf
that's out
there.
beyond the
Yeah,
shelf. But the shelf, you know, there was there that's a lot of land that was once above water.
yeah, yeah. If you look at it, I mean,
I guess the Bahamas are out close to uh the continental uh divide there, or whatever they call it, where the
yeah,
magma comes up.
yeah.
So I'm not
Or
sure
no,
where
it was
Bimini
in.
Island is.
Let's see. I'm zooming in on actually on Bermuda. Let's see if it clears up any. Um, because it's like right off of the islands, isn't it?
Right off the island of Bimini, and it's really shallow there. So
So it might be one of these out here or something.
yeah, but
How you spell that? B
B I
Bimini,
M I N I.
Bimini, the Bahamas. Hey, it's not the Bahamas, is it?
Yeah.
Oh hell, I thought it was up by Bermuda.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's not.
it's not a very big island.
No.
North Bimini. I think that's it right there.
Right in here.
Yeah,
Oh, could
maybe.
be.
But I mean, it exists. It looks like a road. And then there are still people who thinks that they are individual rocks. So I mean, I'm not a geologist. I don't know.
What the heck?
So
We got a dogfight or something downstairs. I don't know if you guys can
Visitors.
hear them.
Is it the IRS coming to shut you down? You're growing chickens. We need to tax you
Yeah.
$45 an egg. They'll do it if
Um.
they can get away with
Oh, absolutely, they will.
it.
Yeah, but I think I've watched more on Bimini than because yesterday was the first I'd heard about the Baltic Sea Anomaly.
Right. I
Um,
had seen it before. I just had was out of sight, out of mind.
right. Hadn't really piqued my interest, but they were talking about all everything failing and all that, hard to get a good sonar read off of it
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah, that was neat. So makes you wonder if it doesn't have a high iron content.
And it could.
I mean, some kind of magnetic field. Of course, that would be easy to detect, though. They could use a magnetic field, uh, a magnetometer, and find out real quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. If their computer's going or their compass is going crazy, I mean that'd be a pretty good
That
sign.
seems like that would be a magnetic anomaly of some sort, which would indicate an iron deposit or, you know,
I
something
wonder.
that was made with iron. Well, and
I
look at those
wonder.
concrete ships. They were made out of what they called ferrocrete, so which had lots of iron in it for reinforcement.
I'm just curious before I say anything. Trying to.
Uh-oh. The gears are grinding.
They are big time.
I'll holler if I see smoke.
Yeah. No, it doesn't look like it. But I was kind of thinking, I was wondering if there's like the valve, any valve vortices around there, over there.
Oh,
But
yeah, that would be cool.
I don't see any. It's all along the looks like the Tropic of Capricorn and Tropic of Cancer and all that good stuff. Um, looking at the maps, but I'm like, maybe. All right,
Alright.
well. Hold on. Where'd it go? Dang it. Um, I don't know. 12 vial. Yeah, 12 vial vortices. I'm gonna share this. I don't know. See what you think on it. But oh, dang it, wrong button. Oh, what the?
Story of my
No, wait,
life.
don't.
That's why they didn't put me in charge of the nuclear football.
Right. But I don't know if these lines. I don't know if these lines exist or how it lines up. But if you look, if you're watching or whatever, it's like right there.
Hmm. That is that the Baltic? I
Yeah, that's the
believe it
Baltic.
is.
Yeah, yeah, because that's Sweden and that's Finland there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. That's right through the Baltic.
Curious.
It is.
Maybe we're reaching, but
I'm often guilty of that, so, I'm but that just makes the speculation more fun.
right.
The crazier I can get with my wild theories, the more entertained I am, and
Right.
I hope that our listeners are. A lot of this stuff that we talk about, I think, is either real or has a very large grain of truth.
Right.
Uh, and this is just pure speculation. Nobody knows, and that's the beauty of it.
Yep. And maybe when technology gets better, they'll find more answers.
Maybe so.
Like Bimini, obviously, but what's the one off Japan that we were talking about earlier?
The Yonaguni Monument, and it's I've seen several specials on TV about it. It's in fairly
Mhm.
shallow water. Uh, the visibility is gorgeous. I mean, it's a gorgeous site, uh, and you can dive there. I think as a tourist.
How do you
So
spell that?
Yonaguni. UNI.
I want to see whereabouts it's at.
And this one is interesting because you have different groups of scientists arguing, is it real? Is it natural? Is it man made? And none of them can agree. And these are scientists. They're fighting like cats and dogs, which I also find highly amusing.
Yeah.
It's what we talked about even early on in the show where nobody wants to be wrong, so they poo poo on everybody else. And if they would just get together and work together, they might actually find some answers.
Right. Yeah, but therein lies the problem. They
Right,
don't want to be
because
wrong.
they don't wanna be wrong because that affects their grant money.
Right. And they don't want to be fringe either because I mean they'll get excoriated kind of like Graham Hancock has. And he's not
Yeah.
really even a scientist, he's a journalist
No,
that's found this stuff interesting.
I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and get Netflix for 1 or 2 months so I can watch that series.
Yeah, I've
Just for
thought about that too.
just for that. While I'm at it, I'll catch up on The Witcher and, you know,
Yeah.
that's it. Then I'll be done with, Netflix for a while.
Yeah, I mean if you look, it's marked on the map. Um yeah, let me pull this up.
There's all sorts of,
Yeah, it's on the map.
yeah.
You know, not a very big island.
No, it's
Uh,
not. And, see, where is that?
but
Is that mainland or is that China over there?
yeah, this is Taiwan here.
That's Taiwan. Okay, so
Yeah, that's just off the coast of Taiwan. You know, that's the island here.
it's
That's
just
Taiwan.
dang near in Taiwan.
Yeah. Um, I know I've been snorkeling off of Okinawa, you know, which isn't really as a crow flies isn't really too far from it.
Mm-mm.
I want to say just off Naha over here, and it was beautiful water.
Oh, yeah, it's super clear.
And even it was a cloudy day, but it was so clear. It was just beautiful. So I could see that. I could see it being, you know, clear.
Apparently, you can go there as a tourist. I'm not sure.
I'm sure you can.
Um,
Um,
looks like a beautiful place to dive.
yeah,
And the beauty about that one is there is a lot of video out there for you to watch. Josh Gates even did a show on it. So, I mean,
yeah,
it's not like you're going to have any problems finding pictures of it. So, yeah, there's all kinds
yeah.
of good
I
pictures
mean,
there.
all these. I
It
mean,
it does
that's
look man-made to me. It
it.
really
Absolutely
does.
does.
Um, but some of the structure just doesn't make sense, but it doesn't have to make sense for it to be man-made because we build on top of things. We tear things down, we adjust, that's just what we do.
Yeah. Um, but that's the thing is how much building technology. It kind of makes me think of the roads and stuff. How their roads are still here
Yeah.
thousands of
Y
years after they are, or after they've been gone, and they're still being used today. But we
yeah.
can't make roads that last 6 months.
I actually know
So
the
how
answer
much?
to that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's several answers. One is their concrete was better because they
Hmm.
used volcanic ash. That makes the best concrete. 2 was they did it by hand
Right.
and they had pride in their work, so they were meticulous in how they laid it out. They drained wonderfully, and they took the time to do the setup properly, where we just, oh, let's make a road. Let's do it as cheaply as possible.
Right.
It's not how the Romans did things.
Right.
I
Well,
don't want to have to redo it. Let's do it right.
but then you have the aqueducts that they created and all that, where people have a very minute understanding of how that worked. I know I've seen videos and stuff on it. They think they know how they were able to push the water up and all that. But my point is how much technology. We're supposed to be this technical or technically advanced civilization, but yet we have little to no understanding of things that were made millennia ago.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Antikythera device.
Right.
I mean, that was way beyond the technology of the time. And, it was difficult to reproduce with modern materials and technology. So, these people, our ancestors, just because they did not have the technology at us, did not make them any less advanced as a society or any less intelligent. They might not have had all the facts, but they were clever, they were resourceful, and, you know, they understood nature way better than us too.
Absolutely, they did because they had to live with it. We don't necessarily have to do that anymore.
No,
Um, Kind of something that we chatted about the other day with technologies. How much do you remember now?
I don't.
Phone numbers and things like that. I don't hardly remember any.
I used to know at least 100
Uh-huh.
people's phone numbers off the top of my head. Oh, Bill,
Right.
that's 555-333. Whatever.
Right.
I knew
And
everybody's number.
but if you relate that to the Roman Empire or the Greek Empire, the Egyptian empires and all that, sure there was a lot more mysticism or what we would consider mysticism today.
Well, they knew how things worked, but they didn't know why things worked.
Right.
We know why things work, but not how they work.
Right. That makes sense. I mean, but then again, with the loss, and we covered it right after we started, but with the loss of the Library of Alexandria,
I'd love to do that show again.
how much knowledge was lost and how far were we set back? And I think that's a question we asked then. Um, it's just it's mind boggling to think about how much knowledge, because it was basically they're told to come into the harbor if they had books or whatever for the library, or the library would take them, copy them, and give them back. That's kind
Or
of their
they would keep
penance.
the original and give back the copy.
Right. Yeah. But still that knowledge, obviously, because books weren't in mass production or scrolls weren't in mass production.
No, they were all done by hand.
Yeah. So obviously there wasn't that many copies of it.
These people came within 200 miles of calculating the circumference of the earth using sticks in wax.
Uh-huh.
That's what they used for a notebook. They were wax sheets with a stylus, and they did that all by hand. And they had it calculated accurately within 200 miles, which doesn't sound like a lot to us today, but given the tools that they had to work with, that is astounding.
Oh, absolutely it is.
I couldn't do that
Yeah.
with a calculator.
No. Absolutely not. I wouldn't even know where to start.
No, and they did it with hand tools and
Yeah.
wax tablets. Our
Yep.
ancestors were 1,000 times smarter than us, if you ask
Absolutely they
me.
were. I would agree. Um, it's kind of it's crazy to think about it. And I absolutely agree. Tim Just put up technology's dumbed down the human intelligence. Absolutely, I agree with that
Yeah,
100%.
that is a 1,000%. That's
What's going to happen, and we're kind of again off topic, but it's a question that I ask myself a lot. You see Neuralink, all this stuff that's supposed to mesh with humans. I mean, the intent right now, like especially Neuralink, is to help people with mental or
physical
brain
disability.
injuries, disabilities, things like that, to help them improve their quality of life. But eventually, that tech is going to bleed over and basically make everybody a cyborg. In my opinion, I
Ghost
mean,
in the Shell.
right. What happens when people are having Neuralink implanted? What happens? They lose. I mean, they have access. I mean, we're basically have it now.
Yeah, and
I
Tesla
know
had some
very,
things to say about that.
yeah. So, I mean, all this, all really, in my opinion, what Neuralink is going to do is going to take this and put it in your head.
Yeah, I got a comment about that. Y'all get pissed when somebody hacks your Facebook account. What happens when they hack your brain?
Right.
You won't even remember.
I contend it's already happening.
Yeah, I mean, you watch the media, they use all kinds of
Yeah.
psychological manipulation to get you to do the things that they want.
Yep. I
Yeah,
mean, the last what 8, 10 years has been
it's
crazy. Has been
yeah.
full of it.
And if you've ever taken a psychology class, start paying attention to what these people are doing. They are manipulating you, and it's right out of a freaking college textbook.
Absolutely, it is. I took like a week of psychology in college, and I know this.
Yeah. Oh, I loved psychology. That was a fun class. We did a lot of what if and speculation
Uh-huh.
when I was in psychology class. It was amazing.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess another question I have, kind of circling back around to, yeah, yeah, Chris. She said, "Look what happened with Twitter suppressing stuff." Yeah,
Yeah, I was watching a guy the other day that said now that Musk has taken it over and nobody is uh, blocking access to his channel, he's picked up millions of followers
right.
because he was being suppressed.
Hmm?
So, I mean, it happens. It happens. So, I think we got
But
off on a tangent.
yeah, we did nothing new. That's what happens when we don't have Jess or Pam on with us.
Yeah, I mean, we need to get them back on just to keep us on track. I
I
mean,
know it. But I guess another question I have is, these monoliths and all that. How many are underwater that we don't know about? I mean, you see all these different cities and stuff like that that are submerged now
right. I
from
mean,
sea levels rising or what have you.
the cities that we know about and have historical records and now are underwater.
Right.
So, there's several in Egypt.
Yeah.
Cleopatra is supposedly buried in a temple in one of those cities.
Yeah. I know a lot of Alexandria was underwater now.
Yeah, yeah. And well, I mean, just look at Venice.
Hmm.
It's sinking a little bit
Yep.
every year. I mean, there are several stories of building underneath the water that they're just building on top of. It's crazy.
Yep.
So, I
And
mean,
I don't know. There's a lot of what if that goes on with this. Um, it's just a lot of things we'll never know the answers to.
no, I mean, and that's fine. if you knew the answer to everything, would there be any wonder left
No,
in the
it'd
world?
be boring. It would be
It
absolutely boring.
it would be absolutely mind-numbingly boring.
Yep.
Now, my mind is numb, but it's not because I'm boring. But yeah, I mean, I looked up earlier, let's see if I still got the link up. Uh, Underwater megaliths, and there was many, many. There was pages of them. So, and megaliths would would be from this time when where what Graham Hancock is talking about.
Mhm.
Um, the megaliths really were built, most of them, uh, kind of in that period or directly after.
Right.
So,
I don't know. I kind of think, we're talking submerged cities and stuff like that, but I really kind of think Atlantis was part of all that too.
right? Well,
You know, I think it would fit.
you remember that video I was discussing when we talked about Atlantis. There's evidence that shows that there was a worldwide seafaring civilization about 14,000 years ago
Yeah.
that disappeared when the glaciers melted. That's where
Yeah.
a lot of these megaliths come from.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look, I mean, I reference this a lot, with the Egyptian artifacts over in the Grand Canyon, and what we're talking about with Pam and Jess as well. There's
Oklahoma,
another
yeah.
one, yeah, in Oklahoma. There's hieroglyphs and all that. So to me, that is evidence. I mean, I may not have all of the knowledge or enough knowledge to make an educated guess, honestly, but to me, that is evidence.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we're gonna be able to talk about this in depth after the first of the year, so that's something y'all can look forward to.
Yep.
Uh, Pam and Jess have collected a lot of information, and I have been perusing it, and it is mind blowing. So something like this deal in the Baltic, I totally buy it.
Yeah.
If it was if you told me it was man made and you had a reasonable amount of evidence, I would totally buy that. Whether it be
Oh
a
yeah.
concrete ship, or the remains of something that got pushed into the ocean by a glacier, I would totally buy it.
I think to me, as much as I hope it's a UFO, I don't know that I believe that it is.
It probably
But
is
to
something
me,
just pushed up by a glacier, but
I
I
think that's what
want
it
it to be
is.
something else.
Right. I think it could be some kind of monolith or temple or something like that that was there during the ice age or whatever or before,
Very plausible.
and the glaciers pushed it. The sea levels came up and the glaciers pushed it down. That's kind of my thoughts on it. Right, wrong, indifferent. I don't know, but that's just what I think. What do you
It,
think?
you know, if it is man made, I think it did get pushed. I think because glaciers they tend to grind things down, but they don't necessarily have to. What if it was a
Right.
structure that was built on top of a glacier, and when the glacier melted, it just ended up on the bottom?
Right.
That's highly plausible because,
Yeah.
humans build things,
Absolutely.
and we're not known for building things in intelligent places. Look at New Orleans. Who builds a city below sea level?
Right.
What kind of doofus founds a city below sea level? I mean, it's a
Yep.
beautiful city, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with the city. But just whoever decided to put it there was a total doofus.
Right.
And so, as much as I like to say that our ancestors were much smarter than us, and in many ways they were and continue to be,
Yep.
we also tend to have a very short sighted view on the world. and myself included. I'm very short-sighted oftentimes.
Yep. Well, I mean, think about it. Here a couple of years ago, and it's kind of again, it's in a way it's off topic, but from what you're talking about, I don't think it is. You
Oh,
know,
really?
the science is settled. No, because that is not science.
No, that's not how
Science
it
is never
works.
settled.
Yeah,
And anybody that says that's flat ass lying to you,
yeah.
or they're so bound up in their own worldview, they're not willing to open their eyes and accept another explanation that could be plausible.
And see, that's what I love about what we're doing. We're not tied down
Right.
to anything. You come tell me that Alfred Hitchcock was a vampire and he's still roaming around. Show me a picture, because I want to see
Yeah.
it.
let's
You
let's
know,
let's check this out.
let's check this out. I ain't got a problem with
Yep.
it. Now, do I think that that's true? Not really, but I'm highly interested in finding out.
Yeah. Show us. I want to see it.
I said something at work yesterday. I said, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. One of the guys says, "Oh, we need to call somebody and tell them about that." I said, "No, I guarantee you, I am not the smartest guy in the world. I have ADD, the internet, and reasonably good research skills. That's all I am."
Well, yeah. I don't know, man. It's just I love things like this just because it's pure speculation.
Yeah,
And we talk about it and we could try to come up with what we think is our best explanation for it. It's challenging to me. And I hope it's challenging to the audience. I hope it gives them food for thought. I mean, they may completely disagree with us, and that's fine.
it's true. And if they've got some evidence or someplace where we should look for evidence,
Yeah, share
please
it.
send that to us because
Yeah.
we dig that stuff.
Yeah. What if tomorrow PC at gmail.com?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Yep.
speaking of, I don't really have a lot more to share.
I really
It's been
don't
an
either. I
interesting
mean,
conversation.
I could talk about this crap all night, but then I wouldn't get any
Yeah.
sleep and I would be cranky at work again.
You was kind of cranky yesterday.
I was kind of cranky
You had a
yesterday,
rough
and
day
any of my
yesterday.
coworkers are watching this. Once every quarter or so, I'm a cranky little whiny bitch, and I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, everybody deserves a day.
Yeah, you gotta have one of those days.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, man, I don't have a lot more. Um, Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a great conversation, I think. Again, I hope that we're giving you food for thought. I mean, we're not the end all be all. We don't pretend to be right about anything.
we want you
We
guys
just
to
like to
think about
have a conversation and explore things. That's what it's about.
it. It is because the human mind is a terrible thing to waste.
It is. Absolutely is.
Don't waste it
Um,
all on Fallout 3 or
that's a
whatever
fun
the new
game
version.
too. I mean, it's like I kind of like Fallout 3.
I do.
So
I've been playing Fallout New Vegas lately, so I mean,
that's a fun game too. I mean,
I get it. I get it. I might replay it too. I don't know. Christmas break's coming.
yeah, yeah. I don't know how much I'll get off, but yep. Um,
Oh.
yeah. Chris said she likes shows that makes you think. I'm glad. I'm glad. I mean, I know we do a lot of shows. Like, man, I think these guys are idiots. And by the end of it, I know these guys are idiots.
There's some times I think I'm an idiot by the time I get to the end of the show. So don't be
Yeah,
shy. Tell me.
yeah. You're not alone in that
Yeah,
opinion.
you're not alone.
So, but anyway, folks, we appreciate you watching. We appreciate you hanging out. Um, I just keep an eye out for Monday. Monday's going to be, I think, an interesting show. We're going to kind of talk about technology. We kind of touched on it a little bit tonight. I think we've got some research to do, but we're going to talk kind of this whole tech revolution thing, what's going on, what we're seeing, what we're living through right now. Um,
It's almost
so
like
we're going to sit
magic.
down and kind of explore that and see what we come up with. But yeah, do us a favor, hang out, come over and hang out with us Monday, join the chat. We love it. We enjoy everybody in the chat. It's a lot of fun to sit there and see people that listen and see your opinions or your thoughts and all that. It's a great time. If you know people that are into this kind of stuff or into preparedness, share our shows with them. Help us grow the podcast.
Share us on
Uh,
Facebook. Share us on Twitter.
yeah, share. We're on
Well, we
Twitter.
don't we don't tweet, but I mean, it's got links to
Well,
our page and stuff.
every episode uploads. When I upload the audio, it uploads to Twitter.
Oh, well, there you go.
So we're on. I don't know how many followers we have because I don't
I
really
don't
get
know.
on
The only
Twitter.
reason I
But
have a Twitter is to follow our show.
you might be one of the only two.
I might be, yeah.
But yeah, we're not great with social media. I know we even started a TikTok, and I really haven't done much with that. We
Hire
just
my
had a lot
daughter or
going on.
something.
Yeah, I'm not really into TikTok. I mean, I used to watch it a lot. I really don't watch it all that much anymore.
Every once in a while, I'll find a real gem, but
Yeah, yeah,
somebody will send to me.
yeah. But
All right.
I kind of try to avoid it. I mean, I'll sit and watch it for a little bit, but it all once the algorithm catches on to what you watch, it's really all the same stuff,
Then they've
just by
got
different
you.
people. Right.
They
Uh,
own your soul.
pretty much. But anyway,
8
folks, we
hours, didn't it?
appreciate it. Yeah, that's true. I know when I first watched it, I go to bed and I'd be watching it in bed. My wife would hear me laughing or whatever. She says, "I thought you were going to bed." Damn. But anyway, folks, thank you again, and we'll catch you next episode.
Good night.